Awesome. Now welcome back to the Forgesson-Archibald Shield for 2021. We've got the Central Cavaliers taking on the Western Wanderers. I'm Michelle Prendeville, and with me is the great man Ryan Archibald. Ryan, thank you for joining us for this match. What have you been up to lately since not playing for the Black Sticks?
Thanks, Michelle. You're really cool to be here today to watch some of this young talent. What have I been up to? Well, I have a young family. So 2 girls, 4 and 6, so they keep me pretty busy. But on the hockey front, I've been doing a little bit of coaching with the Black Sticks men of late, trying to help their Tokyo Olympics preparation.
Awesome. And so in amongst these games, we've got some of these guys who are pushing for those Olympic spots and maybe Olympics in the future as well. And today we have the Wanderers taking on the Cavaliers. Earlier we had the Storm playing, and the Storm were absolutely dominant in the matches. But it will be the Cavs taking that centre pass. And there was a bit of a delay to the start initially because the women's match was on, and there was a bit of confusion as to who took that one out, but won't be confusing for the men's because the Storm have already been so dominant, but it's the Cavs who have got things going in this first quarter. Ryan, do you know many of these boys out here?
Yeah, there's a few that are familiar to me. I'm a Somerville Hockey Club player for many years, so there's a couple of young guys out there. James Stables, who just carried the ball up the right before, played a bit with him, and yeah, I've seen a few of these guys around the traps and rep teams, so looking forward to watching them closely today. Because
in talking to it, and when I was growing up playing hockey, I remember everyone calling you the Wizard. How did that nickname come about for you?
The Wizard, I think it probably had something to do with just having quick hands on the field. Oh. Yeah, good sharp stick work, which was something that as a youngster I used to spend a lot of time practicing. Yep. And yeah, it was I guess an attribute that I had when I was playing. Yeah, nice.
And are you missing it at all? Do you miss, I suppose you're in amongst with the Black Six men and helping them out, but do you miss when you come and watch these matches, being out on the field?
Yes and no. I had a pretty good run and really enjoyed my career, which was a long career. So these days I am, although I'd like to think I was 25 again, these days I'm pretty happy to watch and check out some of the young talent on display and perhaps use my talents on the golf course as much as I can.
So for these teams, in the Cavaliers, we have players from the Somerville, University, Grammar, Windsor and Auckland Indians Club. And then from the Wanderers, it's players from Roskell Eden, Western and Waitakere clubs. So you'd obviously be more familiar with the Cavalier boys. Any big names in that team?
Well, there's a few that I am familiar with. The two Stables brothers. Daniel Easton, who's number 5 out there, he's a good player. Played against him a bit. Young guy with plenty of talent. And Ollie Patterson, he's also a guy that I'm familiar with from the Somerville club. But yeah, there's some that I don't know their names. So looking forward to having a good watch of a few of them today.
Yeah, and well, I play with the Roskell Eden women's team, so it's quite interesting seeing our boys in amongst and playing against guys that they'd normally be competing in this club competition with, the likes of Harry Lawson and Malcolm Curley in there. But they put up a good fight this morning. They weren't quite able to get it over the Storm, but maybe they'll be able to get the win against the Cavs.
Yeah, I think these teams will be pretty evenly matched. I notice Adam Kalia, young player from Southern as well. He's a good talent, and Harry Lawson, who you mentioned, from the Roskell club. So yeah, I think this one will be pretty even. And given it's late in the day, maybe who's got the legs in the fourth quarter might be a telling contribution.
There was a good little ball there from Malcolm Curley, just slipping it through, but it wasn't quite connected with the trap. Now, with the men's hockey, we see it's a lot faster than the women's, and they're able to spread the ball from one side of the field to the other quite quickly. And the Cavs are doing that right now, making their way up through that left-hand flank, but it's a turnover.
Yeah, it's a real counter-attacking game, hockey, these days with the speed. So I think the Wanderers just had an opportunity there, and it looks like they might have another one now. So always a good way to get space and score goals on the counter-attack.
This Tilo Saltner-Jones, he was in the headgear. He was a bit of a threat in this first match, and he's proving to be again when he was just showing some skill up that right-hand flank. But yeah, what does it mean for you? You're on the Shield of this tournament. You're on the Cup. What was that conversation like, being asked to, I suppose, be a big name involved?
It was a pretty easy conversation. Yeah, no, it's nice to have the name on the Shield. It's always a privilege to be recognised, and also joint naming with Krystal Forgesson, who was a really great servant of Auckland and New Zealand hockey. Unfortunately, she can't be here because she lives down south these days. But yeah, it's nice to be recognised, and I think it's just cool that Auckland Hockey have developed this competition, trying something new, giving some of these younger players an opportunity as they head into their new season. Yeah,
because of course last year COVID interrupted a lot of the sporting calendar, the under-21 competition, especially for these guys. So a lot of them missed out on that really top-level hockey. Today, it's back again, and they're able to play lots of matches and get it underway. How important is it at this age to be playing this kind of hockey?
Well, it is important, and especially if we reflect on 2020, there was a lot of missed opportunities for some of the age group kids. So, so I'm sure they'll be really keen to be out there in the representative format. When I think back to my days, I was always keen to play as high a level as possible and be tested, and it's been no different for the players out there at the moment.
So they're just working it around the back at the moment. Is it a patience game for them around the back?
Yeah, I think the game ebbs and flows. So there are periods where you want to play fast, and there are periods where you want to control the ball and work the opposition around, make them defend. And obviously, the more position you have, the more tiring it is defending too. So it's an easy way to play the ball around the back to work your way up the field with a bit of control.
It's Jaden Lull who just got the ball, just lost control a bit, but the Cavs still have it in the circle, and there's a shot at goal. And great save from the keeper. Couldn't quite get it in, but isn't it great to see some good shots at goal?
Yeah, that was a fantastic save. Good play from the Cavaliers up the left, and then finding some space at the top of the circle. A good shot along the ground, and a really good save.
Now, there's a couple of guys out here who are wearing this headgear, and I do know that Jaden Lull last year suffered a really bad head knock playing hockey. And so, this is a serious thing with this sport, is it can be quite dangerous with these balls flying around.
Yeah, unfortunately, head knocks aren't that common in hockey. But there always is that, that chance with a hard ball and sticks that you can get knocked in the head. So I think these days just sport in general is a bit more aware of head knocks and concussion too. So, I think...
Well, it's good that they were looking after themselves as well, but we've got a bit of an attack down here, but they couldn't quite finish it off, the Wanderers.
Yeah, some nice calm defending.
Both teams are searching for their first win, so it'll be interesting to see who can get on the scoreboard first. And it's the Wanderers who'll get the free hit on the sideline. And it's Jimmy Grant coaching the Wanderers team along with Tori Val and Danielle Jones. And for the Cavaliers, it's Pratish Parsatam, Blaze Montero and Salish Patel. Do you know a lot of these coaches in amongst these teams?
I do. I'm familiar with all of them, actually.
No.
Some good up-and-coming coaches. So Salish Patel and the Central Cavaliers, I actually played with quite a bit of age group hockey with him, and he was he won the Hatch Cup with the Auckland's under 13 teams, which was a really impressive achievement. And Pratish Parsatam is a long-time Indians club stalwart Good hockey player in his own right. And Jimmy Grant coached the Auckland NHL men for a number of years. Really experienced coach. And Tori and Danielle, up-and-coming coaches as well. So really good to see them working together.
If you were Jimmy Grant and just watching a little bit of this first quarter with 10 minutes left, what would you be telling your Cavaliers to be trying to do?
Yeah, I think I'd be asking my team to just control the ball a little bit more, just seek a bit more possession, and really think about the phase of the game where they're in, whether it's opportunity to go forward quickly. But I think a bit more control and a bit more possession will help them build into the game a bit more in the second quarter.
Yeah, we'd seen in the first couple of games, number 5 there in the centre, Daniel Easton, he was quite a threat in the middle of the field. And other guys in the Cavs, they're just being patient with it and waiting for those gaps to open up. And when they do, well, that's when it's go time.
Yeah, it's good hockey at the moment from the Cavs, but see a turnover and counter-attack opportunity now.
Just couldn't quite keep it together. But the possession is still with the Cavaliers. And they'll keep it out wide. And they aren't afraid to go back and just try and change that point of attack as well. But isn't it great to see, I suppose, Ryan, just the depth of players that we do have in Auckland as well? And, you know, even though an under-21s tournament couldn't get underway last year, we've still got enough players in this province to be able to have a really strong competition.
Yeah, we do. There's proud history for Auckland hockey and success across all age groups. And, you know, things like tournaments like this just help us develop our younger players. And, you know, it's really encouraging to see some good talent out here.
So Malcolm Curley on the ball here now from Rossall Eden Hockey Club. Punches forward with Bryn Tussin. And with less than 8 minutes left, we're still 0-0 here with the Wanderers and the Cavaliers. It's a nice little skill. Being able to do those rolls. The turnover, he wasn't very happy with that pass. It's a free hit to the Cavaliers. They'll look to take it early and go forward. They're just not able to string those passes together at the moment, are they?
Yeah, there's a lot of half opportunities being created, but just a bit more care, I think, on some of the final pass. Just ensuring that the pass goes, you know, another metre wider of the defenders, so they can't get their stick on it. That's happened a few times now through the midfield. What
is it in these first quarters? Is it a bit of feeling your competition out, or should it be guns blazing, these guys really going for it?
Well, I think there's always an element of just sussing out your competition, working out perhaps how they're playing, how they lead, how they move. You know, typically sort of first half can be a bit closer, and then the game should open up in the second half.
We're seeing a bit of an opening here. It's a bit of a two-on-one situation. And that's a goal. That's goal time for the Cavaliers. Just being a little bit patient. Number 19, Braden Jerem, was able to slip that forward to his player. And it looked like it was an own goal, eh?
I think it came off the defender, yeah. But good play, nice spin in the circle, and then player positioned on the far post in a perfect place to tap it in. And obviously coming off the defender, but I'm not sure the defender could have done much else there other than try his best to get a stick on it.
And of course with field goals, you also get the chance of a bonus point, and that's doing a penalty shootout, and the Cavs have just missed that. So they're up 1-0 at the moment against the Wanderers. The Wanderers will want to punch back pretty hard and fast and try and get on the board before this quarter's over. The Wanderers won't be too happy with, I suppose, that own goal, but there wasn't much he could have really done in that situation, could he? He went for the ball and unfortunately deflected into the goal.
Yeah, they were caught a bit short of numbers there, the Wanderers, so good attack from the Cavaliers, and nice save on the penalty shootout, actually, from the Wanderers keeper there. So, helping keep them in the game, only one goal in it.
So the Cavs still, they keep muscling their way up the field. Keshin Nasai had a younger sister playing in the competition as well, just the game before Shayna. So it's quite amazing, the history in hockey and all the families that are involved. You've got brothers, sisters, mums, dads, all involved in some way, and it's quite I suppose it's a bit of a cult a little bit.
Yeah, perhaps it is, when, being you wouldn't call hockey, I guess, a mainstream sport. It's reasonably large, but you get a lot of family participation in hockey. It makes for a great culture within the sport itself.
Yeah, it's great to see in those Black Sticks teams as well. You've always got siblings or something happening in the national team. And speaking of the Black Sticks, and especially building up to the Olympics, I mean, how is that going for the guys and you helping out with that?
Oh, it's frustrating from the perspective that no one's quite sure, what the Olympics is going to look like. But the guys are just head down, training really hard, a fantastic attitude, just getting on with it, and not worrying about the things that are out of their control. So they're looking pretty sharp actually. But who knows what international competition they might have before the Olympics? It's hard to say at this point.
Do you guys look at these matches as a bit of a selection or an indicator as to what guys could be pushing themselves forward or putting their hand up as potentially trying to, because there has been a few departures this new year from the Black Sticks men's team. There's spaces opening up. Could these guys be putting their hand up?
Well, I think anyone involved with the national teams, great save, the national teams, has always got their eye out for new talent. Yep. The search is always on, and it doesn't really matter what competition it is. People, if players are doing well, then they'll be recognised.
Great tackle there from the Wanderers. They're just blocking it off. The Cavs were looking pretty threatening in those past couple of minutes, but the Wanderers have the possession now and they'll work their way up. They need to. They're 1-0 down. But yeah, it is an interesting situation in the world at the moment, and whether, well, hopefully the Olympics can go ahead, but in what format or what that will look like will be another thing. But I suppose all the guys and girls have to train like it is a happening thing.
Yeah, that's right. And that would be the same, across all sports. The athletes are, they're desperate to go. The Olympics are just, a fantastic event to be part of, and athletes want to do well at the Olympics. So there's nothing really you can do except keep training.
And that's the end of the first quarter. The Cavaliers are up 1-0. The Wanderers are still in it though. All they need to do is score a goal or a field goal, and then they'll be right in the hunt. What impressed you most in that first quarter, Ryan?
Well, I think the Cavaliers are looking pretty well organised. Defensively, I thought they had pretty good structure there. And then they look pretty dangerous on their counter-attack. So I think the Wanderers just need to wrestle themselves back into the contest, just get a little bit more possession, because they certainly have the ability to score some goals. So whilst the Cavaliers are on top, I still think it's a 50-50 match at this point.
It'll be interesting to see, and also hear in those, you can see Jimmy at the moment, he's right in the team talk, drawing up some game plan. If you were him, what would you be saying to the guys right now? Just need to keep nutting it out a little bit more.
I think so, because they've certainly created opportunities. So perhaps just tightening up their defence a little bit, just making sure they've got a bit more counter control when they're attacking, and just taking a bit more care with the ball and holding on position a bit longer, and they'll build their way into the game. Yeah,
it's still anyone's game. We've still got 3 quarters left, and it's the Cavaliers only up 1-0. But Ryan, in terms of being outside of hockey, what's it been like? I suppose retired, out of the Black Sticks, and I suppose, yeah, just being able to see how things unfold in the hockey circles and it having a step back.
Yeah, look, the last few years, I'm still reasonably involved in hockey. I've been playing club hockey and involved in some governance in the sport as well. So I sort of keep my eye on how things are going and and just sort of contributing in a slightly different way, I guess.
It doesn't seem like anyone can ever really leave hockey. Everyone, like, we've got a Masters tournament happening next week, and you've got, I think there's 90-something teams involved, and it's just incredible the ages of these people, but still wanting to be involved.
Yeah, a game for all ages and stages, and I think that's a credit to the culture and the sport and the social side of it off the field as well. So yeah, it's impressive that Masters tournament. There's great to see people staying in the game well into their senior years.
Yeah. So the Cavs have got things going in this second quarter. And that's a loose ball up in the circle. But they've been told to take it back. And it'll be a Wanderers ball. And we haven't seen much of this aerial game as well in these matches, but it's still prominent in the men's international game.
Yeah, it is huge part of the game. Throwing a aerial pass or overhead, more and more common. And it's, I guess, guys these days with the technique and strength can throw it, by and large the length of the field if they need to. But it is a real tactical weapon. Short aerial passes or long aerial passes.
So we just saw before Ken Hendricks gets sent off. He is in the sin bin. And so it'll be interesting to see if the Cavs can really capitalise having an extra man out on the field.
Yeah, it makes it tough when someone's off the pitch. It's such a quick game, physical game. So that one less player will hurt, and the Cavaliers, should be able to press home their advantage for the next few minutes.
And it's good to capitalise right now, especially when they're only 1-0 up. They'll be patient with it. Ollie Patterson on the ball. Crash ball in, but nobody's on it.
Yeah, I think they probably could have been a bit more patient there and worked the Wanderers over. They had field position, were getting up the field, but Ollie there obviously saw something in the circle, didn't quite connect.
But it's back with the Cavs. They still have an attacking opportunity. They'll look back, change the point of attack a bit, and they'll patiently make their way up. There's lots of chatter out there as well, which is good to hear. Cavs still in possession, but still nobody on the end of it. But it will come. Patience is good.
Yeah, and you can see how much of an advantage it is when you've got the extra player. Hard for the Wanderers to get the ball.
Nice strong defence there from the Cavs. They keep hold of possession. They've still got it. And I think both teams are back to 11 on the field. And they attack into the circle. Can he get a result from this, either a goal or a penalty corner? And that's great defence. Great defence from Bryn Tussin. Cool, calm and collected.
It was good composure in the circle. Good play from James Stables there on the baseline for the Cavaliers, who got the ball into the dangerous part of the circle.
And the Wanderers now need to work some magic somehow and make their way up the field, and that's a big long ball. And they've got it. They've managed to get through a couple of layers, and they're back in their circle.
Yeah, that was a lovely pass from the back from the Wanderers. Nice slice, sweep pass. Really a lot of deception on it, and gave them a good opportunity.
Both teams are managing to find those holes, and it's just being able to finish them off a little bit, I suppose. And they're going up the right-hand side, working their way into the circle as the Wanderers. They take the free hit again, though.
And some good aerial skills on display there, down the baseline. It's a real art to be able to carry the ball on the baseline and get it in the air into the circle.
And if they can just get that shot away, great save. What needs to happen in those situations? You get a great shot on goal, needing those people ready for the rebounds or wanting those deflections to try and get it past the goalie?
Yeah, it's important. Have really good low body position in the circle, and just always be expecting the best goal scorers, the ones that people kind of refer to as poachers, are the ones that are always waiting, always expecting, anticipating the ball coming to them. And body position's a big part of that, having the stick near the ground and knees bent.
Yeah. You would have scored a lot of goals in your time. And you must come up against these guys quite a lot as well in the club competition, so they're used to having, I suppose, big names like yourself, big guys on the field with targets on their back. And is it hard, do you think, playing in these competitions sometimes when there aren't as many big names and because you rise or you drop to a level?
I think a lot of these guys will be playing Premier club hockey in Auckland and learning from playing alongside Black Sticks and older players. But these opportunities are really where they get to put that into practice against their peers. So I think, getting the best of both worlds, a lot of these guys.
So for you growing up, was Lloyd Elsmore Park the place that you would come for all your Auckland kind of hockey trainings?
Yeah, spent a lot of time out here at Lloyd Elsmore. Training with Auckland representative teams, this being our Auckland's home base and an awesome facility. And also spent quite a lot of time at the Auckland Grammar School pitch, which is where I went to school, and Somerville Hockey Club being located in that central part of Auckland too.
And the Wanderers, they have another attacking opportunity here with the free hit. They look back, they're looking to potentially change their point of attack. Almost losing possession there, the Wanderers. Nice little twirl.
They're having a good spell at the moment, the Wanderers. I feel like they've been on top of the game in the last few minutes. Just haven't quite been able to capitalise yet.
Now it's the Storm's chance the Cavaliers' chance to make some magic happen. But there's a free hit's turned over, and it's a free hit to the Wanderers. They'll make their way up the field and slip those passes quite nicely, but the Cavs have read that quite easily. Can they work this out together here and get a free hit, but that's called a dangerous ball.
There's good anticipation from Josh Child there in the Cavaliers. Nice intercept on the halfway line and then creating the attack. Good play by the tall defender.
So is he relation to, obviously, the Child family that's in Auckland?
Josh is Graham Child's son, and Graham's had a long association in hockey with Auckland, and also was assistant coach of the Black Sticks when I first started in the Black Sticks as well. Yeah. So good hockey family.
It's handy having parents as really good coaches as well. The Cavs have managed to turn it over, but getting some pressure from the Wanderers. And with 8 minutes left, it's still 1-0 to the Cavaliers. It looks like they're getting some momentum going forward now. But just can't quite connect. Those passes will come as the game goes on. They'll keep pushing for them.
Yeah, you can already see the game starting to get a little bit stretched in the second quarter. So I feel like we're going to see plenty more chances as the game progresses.
And so how are the Cavaliers kind of pressing the Wanderers? Do they need to be putting more pressure on them, or are they all right just to drop back and kind of...
Well, I think as the game stretches out, then actually dropping back and bringing their lines closer together will actually serve them quite well. And just recently the Cavs have also picked apart the Wanderers press. So it's really just making sure that when a team is pressing, that all their players are on the same wavelength. Where are they trying to encourage the ball, and where do they want to turn it over?
It looks like they're getting a good little run here now, the Cavs, but it just goes over the baseline. And the Wanderers will take it from the back. It's been such a beautiful day, such a nice day to play hockey as well. I mean, we've had a bit of everything, well, apart from the rain, but lots of wind earlier, bit of overcast, but now the sun's just really turned it on for the final match of the day.
Yeah, it's nice out there on the pitch, and I think it'll still be pretty warm on the field, but I'm sure the guys will be a little bit relieved that it's not baking hot middle of the day anymore. But there'll be some tired legs out there for sure.
Yeah, how tough is it to play, I suppose, 2 big matches in one day?
Well, it is tough, especially this early in the season. So a lot of the players out there won't have had too many games as yet. So they will be feeling it.
Malcolm Curley on the ball now. Stringing some passes together, the Wanderers. They're slowly making their way up, and this could be a attacking opportunity for them. Gets it on the foot and shot at goal. That was great. And there's a goal for the Wanderers. I think that was number 10, Adam Kalia. Getting it in the back of the net. We can have a little look at the replay here.
It was really well played. Couple of good passes there. Attack up the right, and then a good save, but in the right spot for the rebound.
Yeah, and here we see they get that bonus point opportunity, and it just didn't go the Wanderers' way, but it is 1-1. 1-1 for the Wanderers and the Cavaliers.
I think we're going to replay the shootout because the hooter went halfway through it.
So Adam Kalia gets another chance. Oh, and he misses, unfortunately. How tough are those shootouts, and what's the kind of key objective these strikers need to do?
Well, they are tough. It's tough from the... I mean, it looks simple. It's one-on-one with the keeper. You think you should score every time, but I guess it's the pressure that's on the shot. There's often a time counter as well. And keepers these days are just getting better and better at holding their ground and making the attacker do everything. So they are tough.
Well, it's game on at the moment. The Cavaliers are on 1. The Wanderers are on 1. It's up for anyone to take. Both of them are looking for their first win of the day. The Storm taking the 2 earlier wins. So it'll be nice for one of these teams to finish on a high note. There was a strong tackle on the baseline. And it's the Wanderers now who have the possession. But they turn it all over. Daniel Easton had the ball and carried on.
Yeah, some good tackling, good defence down there from the Wanderers, not giving the Cavaliers an opportunity in the attacking right-hand corner.
They get the ball into the circle, but that just spills out. And these free hits heading into the circle, obviously you can't do the crash ball in. Is it better just to go back and around or push down a channel?
Yeah, I think if teams can take the ball quickly, then they should, because it gives the opposition obviously won't be set up defensively. Right. But long corners can be a really good opportunity to dominate the ball and shift it from side to side and be patient about where the opening is into the circle.
How much is a game changer is the auto pass? Was that happening when you at the end of your career?
Yeah, the auto pass is, I've played a lot of hockey under the auto pass. Love it. Best rule change ever. Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic innovation in the rules of hockey, just to speed up the game and give good attacking play an advantage. So, I think it's been a great addition. It
has sped things up, especially with, I suppose, the quarters now as well, making it a bit more of a faster and spectator-friendly sport rather than the two halves. The Wanderers, they are pushing up the field, getting close to the circle, holding off the defence. And he's calling for a free hit, but they're not going to give it to him. It's the Cavaliers who will play to the whistle and no whistle. They carry on. With less than 2 minutes in the first half, the game is anyone's.
Yeah, credit to the Wanderers in this quarter to fight their way back into the game. They've looked a bit sharper, so must have been a good quarter time talk.
Yeah, they've managed to string some more passes together. Like we see here, just these nice big long balls, and we have another opportunity. Can he get it on the foot? And surely that has to be a penalty corner.
Yeah, that was a nice bit of skill there, and I think they deserved a penalty corner. Umpire obviously blinded and didn't see the infringement.
Adam Kalia would be gutted with that one, but you've got to play to the whistle, and the Cavs have carried on, made their way up their attacking end of the turf. And they could be the ones with 10 seconds left. They could be the ones getting an opportunity. But at the end of the first half, it's 1-1. Who was your winner of that half?
Quarter each, I'd say.
Yeah.
Definitely first quarter Cavaliers, but the Wanderers looking much improved in the second quarter, and I think they deserve to get themselves back into the match on equal footing.
Yeah, well, they've still got a whole half to go, and it's up for anyone to take. Stick around and see more action, as it's 1-1 at the moment for the under-23 Forgesson-Archibald Shield at Lloyd Elsmore Park. All right, well, we're heading into the final half of the Under-23 Forgesson-Archibald Shield, and the Central Cavaliers and the Western Wanderers are locked up 1-1, and it's really up for anyone to take in this game. Both of them are searching for their first win of the competition, and what a win it would be to finish the day after 2 matches with a victory. I'm also joined by former Black Sticks captain Ryan Archibald. Ryan, it's been some pretty cool hockey today especially, getting these under-23s out on the field.
Yeah, I think it's a great concept and a really good way to start the season with some competitive games. Really good to see, to be able to showcase some of the young talent within the Auckland region. So yeah, it has been good, and I hope I'm sure the players have enjoyed today.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky that Auckland is a province that just has such a depth of players. Are other regions this strong, do you think?
Oh, I think there's some good hockey strongholds around the country. There's been a lot of Black Sticks women in particular produced in Northland and in sort of the Manawatu Wairarapa region as well. So, and Canterbury also being a traditional place for hockey talent. So yeah, I think hockey's pretty well contributed to around the country. But Auckland certainly does have a really proud history of producing good hockey players.
So the Wanderers are just making their way, as you can see, back out onto the turf. They would have had maybe some stern words from coach Jimmy Grant. Have you been told off ever before by Jimmy Grant?
I'm sure I have been. Jimmy, a really good coach. I describe Jimmy as a real good manager coach. So yeah, he always has a really good relationship with his players, and that's how he gets the best out of his teams. But I'm sure he would have a few tactical things that he'd like his boys to be working on for the next couple of quarters. And I think likewise the Cavaliers would have a few things to tighten up as well.
Yep, so I think it's the Wanderers who will take the centre pass. They'll want to get things going pretty quickly and see if they can get the Cavaliers on the back foot pretty early. And already they're making some gains up the field. I think that's Ollie Patterson. He says, no, you can't get past me. But flicks it out of the turf. And the Wanderers have another chance at going forward. Wanderers take the ball. They want to get things going quickly, but these Cavaliers players in the way. Ken Hendricks on the ball at the moment. He needs to take that 5 before he takes it into the circle. And there's a ball in, but they just can't get hold of it.
Yeah, always a tough ask to hit a player on the backhand when they're running towards the baseline. So probably better off looking to give the ball to a nice strong lead on someone's forehand there in the circle. Makes it much easier to get control.
We'll keep working it down that right-hand flank, but Caleb Walters just got a nice little touch there. And we were saying before, I think it was with Joe, but in the women's game especially, we were saying how strikers just need to be pests on the field and really just get their stick. Is that the same in the men's game, or is it patience for strikers, or what makes a good striker in the men's game?
Well, I think, off the ball, strikers have a really important role. So they can't be lazy. They can't just wait upfield for their chance with the ball. They have to close down the space of the opposition, try and force turnovers, force bad passes. So yeah, they have a really, really important defensive role, and I think being a pest is quite a good description. Just getting in the way, getting in the face of defenders, so they can't have time on the ball.
And I suppose just having that mongrel and really just wanting to get the ball off them at whatever cost. But the Wanderers, this is Malcolm Curley's keeping possession of the ball. Gets it in the feet, but maybe it was on the stick, and the Cavs punch forward. And it could be an opportunity here if he's got the legs. And he does. This is a great run from Jaden Gosher.
Yeah, Jaden's done brilliantly there. Some good aerial control across the middle of the field, and then a bit of pace around the outside to keep the ball in.
Jaden Lull here, he's working his way in amongst the Wanderers defenders. But it went over the baseline, so they'll take the free hit. Being patient and working it in, and a shot away, and it's saved.
Another good save, good backhand shot. Good save with the left foot.
Lots of tomahawks that we have been seeing. Some of them not, going at the goal, over the goal. It's nice to see them when they're nice and flat and actually goal-scoring kind of opportunity as well.
Yeah, it is. They can hitting it with the edge of the stick. The ball can be prone to spray everywhere, but it is a good skill to have for anyone that wants to score goals and find space in the circle. Be able to score on both sides of the body, really important.
What is New Zealand's, I think, every country you'll see have a different style of game. What is New Zealand's kind of style of game, or is it becoming all one around the world?
Oh, no, there's very much distinctive styles across, different countries. I think the New Zealand style is probably a bit of a blend of a few different ones, actually. Influenced by the India and Pakistan's, a few years back, and then we see a lot of New Zealand players playing in Europe these days. So then they bring back Dutch or German elements, and and being, I guess, close to Australia, we have an element of their physical nature as well. So I think we're a bit of a blend of a few different styles here in New Zealand.
It's great to see that physicality out on the field as well. We're just seeing in the women's game, sometimes the physicality is the difference. And right here, the Cavs have just been able to hold it pretty much up the field. But it's the Wanderers who take it up. Ken Hendricks. But Ollie Patterson stops him right there. And he dribbles it out, unfortunately. So less than 12 minutes in this third quarter. The scores are drawn 1-1. Someone needs to win this match. Great read there from Caleb Walter, picking off that ball. Can they get the shot? Good save again.
A good example there of how quickly defence can turn into attack. Just an intercept, a tackle, and then space in front of you. You can take it quickly in this game. So the Wanderers did that well then, and creating a goal-scoring chance.
They just need to keep working it in here. They've got a free hit at the top of the circle for the Wanderers. But patiently they're just trying to see if they can work it in and hold that possession. Crash ball in, and that's a deflection. That's awesome. Number 19, Josh Stevens. It's great when you see those crash balls go in and just somebody gets the touch on it.
Yeah, that was a great touch with his low down on his backhand. Good pass in, good speed on the ball, and good body position get the backhand deflection.
Yeah, nice. Would that be a set play, or does that stuff just kind of happen spontaneously?
Yeah, I imagine that would have been pretty instinctive.
Nice goal again from Josh Stevens. And just like that, as easy as that, the Wanderers now, they've gone up 3-1. That's how easy it is in this game with the bonus point.
Yeah, I think they've done well there. Pretty even start to the second half, this third quarter. But they've capitalised, got an opportunity, capitalised, and then made the most of it with the shootout.
Now, people might be wondering why we have these penalty shootouts against the goalie, and this has just been introduced for this competition, but it's actually quite important because we see on the international stage a lot of the time the Black Sticks come in those scenarios where it's a draw at the end of the game and they need to win with a penalty shootout.
Absolutely. The current format in most of the big international tournaments, there's quarterfinals, semi-finals, and obviously the final. So you could easily be knocked out in a quarterfinal on a shootout. Yeah. So it's a really really important thing to practice and to become adept at doing.
Now, there's just been a bit of confusion here. Obviously, the Wanderers aren't too happy that there's a penalty corner, but the Cavs, they're setting up anyway. The umpires have had a little talk, and it seems, no, it's not a penalty corner anymore. They'll be taking a free hit outside the circle. The Cavaliers will. The infringement must have happened outside instead of inside.
Yeah, it's good when the umpires talk to each other and come out with the right decision. It's a quick game, so it can be difficult to umpire. But when they work together, they'll get it right more often than not.
Oh, lots of clashes on the sticks there, but it's the Wanderers. A nice little skill there. I think that's Tilo Saltner-Jones. He's just still on the ball. Gosh, it's getting really feisty out there. You can hear the clashes of the sticks.
Yeah, I think now the Wanderers are 3-1 up. The Cavs have decided that they need to put in that little bit of extra effort. They'll be a bit frustrated that they're down. So things will start to heat up, I'm sure.
Just a little bit of a missed pass there for the Wanderers, but the Cavs will clean that up quite quickly and try and hold the possession, but they don't. Free hit on the sideline. And just like that, it's a turnover. And the Cavs will take the ball. Ronick Mystery there, able to get the free hit. And Keshan Nasai does a nice little weighted ball. He tries to link up again, but the Wanderers are all over it. If you were the Cavaliers coach, when would you, and you're down, at the moment the Cavaliers are down 3-1, when would you look to take your goalkeeper off and maybe start to spice the game up a little bit?
Well, I am a fan of doing it earlier rather than later. There's no point in leaving it to the last couple of minutes. But I think just currently, given that we're in the third quarter and, one goal down plus a shootout, they could easily tie it up. So I'd probably be, if I was still down 3-1 at the start of the fourth quarter, I'd think about taking the goalkeeper off.
Yeah, it's so easy with this penalty shootout and the bonus point that you can get back in the match quite quickly. The Cavs, though, they're going to try and do it without having an extra player on the field and keep the goalie on at the moment. They'll got the space up the field. Go the baseline. Oh, and it hit off the post. Great shot. but just a little bit too high.
Yeah, good attacking play, and unfortunately off the crossbar.
And just like that, now there's a counter-attack. And they've got an open goal. That's number 12, Harrison Davis, gets the goal.
Yeah, wow, how things can change. Hit the crossbar at one end. A few seconds later, the Wanderers have got a goal at the other end. With some nice goalkeeping there, actually, but good numbers in the circle from the Wanderers on the counter-attack meant they were able to get the rebound and put it in.
And it looks like there's a player on the baseline. Everyone's suffering from a bit of cramp. Tough couple of games of hockey. You're bound to get some cramp.
Yeah, I think there might have been a collision there as well with the goalkeeper. Never nice to run into the goalkeeper.
So Harrison Davis will try and take this penalty shootout. Too much to the left. But it puts the Wanderers now 4-1, and earlier we thought it was the Cavs game, but the Wanderers, they've well and truly come back into this match now.
Yeah, they certainly have. Some good counter-attacking, getting some numbers in the circle, and they've been rewarded.
The Cavs, that's a beautiful ball down the sideline, and Jaden Daya received it nicely. He gets the free sideline hit. Just loses control a little bit, and there'll be a turnover ball to the Wanderers. Three minutes left on the clock. The Wanderers are 4-1 up. And that ball's just gone in between both players there. So the Cavaliers now.
I think just before we come into the quarter break, I think the Wanderers might just try to slow the game down a little bit. Just make sure that they're close together and connected so that they can prevent from conceding before the break.
And that was good, some good pressure there from the Wanderers and just being able to turn the ball over. And now they're in attacking mode. Lewis Rose here. Turnover ball. The Cavs are wanting to get things going. They need to get some points on the board, especially heading into this quarter break. But that's just been thrown away a little bit.
Yeah, I think the space was there, but might have needed an extra pass to get it around to the other side of the field.
Bit of bobbly balls out there, and Wanderers will try and control things a little bit now. Great deceptive ball through the middle.
Can hear Coach Jimmy Grant yelling, "Keep the ball,"
right,
to his Wanderers team. So he'll be recognising that they want to just control the game before he gets the chance to have a chat to them at the break.
Coming down to the dying seconds really in this third quarter. And it's the Cavaliers with the ball and trying. That's an air shot. So Malcolm Curley here just needs to hold the ball for the Wanderers. They get ahead. Josh Stevens sweeps it across. Puts some pressure though on that Cavaliers defence, and it's asking questions of their defence as well. Some tired bodies out there at the moment. But the third quarter is just about up. Can the Wanderers just keep hold of the ball? And they do. Jimmy can yell at the boys a little bit more behind the sheds. What would you be telling the Central Cavaliers to need to do in this final quarter?
Oh, I think I'd be telling them to give it all. There are some tired legs out there, but they're behind, so they've really got to push forward as much as they can. I'm sure they'll be thinking about perhaps taking the goalkeeper off, or maybe even throwing one of their defenders further forward, just to try and get some more numbers up the pitch. But you know, they've got 15 minutes now to go for it, so there's no point in holding back at this point.
Yeah, and of course we're really lucky today to have the sponsorship and backing of Chester's Plumbing. Without their backing, we wouldn't really be able to have this event go ahead. And Grant Chester's been an amazing support for not only Auckland hockey, but hockey around New Zealand as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic to have Chester's and Grant behind Chester's supporting this event. Fantastic supporter of hockey at both club level, provincial level, and the national level. So we're very lucky to have such passionate and generous people like Grant in our sport.
And it's not just people watching on the live stream. We've got people down here as well, but people all around the world are able to watch and see how New Zealand, and especially right now with this under-23 tournament, how New Zealand's doing so well and able to live a relatively normal life even when things are quite different at the moment with COVID all around.
Yeah, we're certainly lucky, aren't we? And you know, the fact that we can play our sport and you know, live relatively freely, barring the odd hiccup here and there. So yeah, really lucky that we can get out, do our hockey, do our other sports.
Yeah, because it would have been, well, I mean, tough not just for hockey, but last year the sporting calendar, so many things were disrupted, and we've managed to get things back on track, and especially with this under-23s tournament, it's going to be a regular thing on the sporting calendar for Auckland hockey now as well. So good things come out of really tough situations. Yeah,
it's good innovation, I think. Adding this to the calendar. There's also a nines tournament coming up in April, I think, for age group teams, which Auckland Hockey's put together. So another good innovation, providing opportunity for age group kids.
I think that's the most important thing at the moment, especially when there's not a lot of sport happening on TVs. You've got to be visible somehow, and Auckland Hockey's doing a great job of making themselves visible, not only for these players but for youngsters to come along and watch and see some hockey and maybe say one day they'd like to be like these guys playing in this club competition.
Yeah, absolutely there will be. Younger brothers and sisters will be wanting to aspire to play in these teams, and then obviously in Auckland representative teams as well.
So the Cavs have come out firing at the moment. Got some space out there. They can get into the circle and they might be able to get a shot away through Caleb Walter, but passes it on. I think that should have been a penalty corner, but it's gone the other way. It came up off the stick of the defender and up into the face of one of the Cavaliers boys, but unfortunately got to play to the whistle.
You do. Really good intent from Cavaliers there. Some good skill from Will Stables, left midfielder, creating the opportunity. So they need more of that, and they need it pretty quickly.
Yeah, just 15 minutes really left on the clock for the Cavaliers to try and get a few more points on the board. But the Wanderers at the moment trying to take a swing at the ball, and he misses, but the Cavs will have a chance now. Little contest there in the midfield. Sam Greenfell here on the ball at the moment. He gets the free hit, but there's lots of calls the other way. And the Cavs are really going up a level at the moment. Yeah, so what would be the best time for the Cavs to... do you do it with just 5 minutes on the clock to take a goalie off, or do you...
I think sooner rather than later is better, because you can always put your goalkeeper back on. So even, I'd say at the 10-minute mark, if if I was sitting in the dugout there, I'd definitely be considering taking the keeper off. And then if you get back level, then you can always put your goalkeeper back on and... and there's still the opportunity to win the game.
I suppose they've got nothing really to lose at the moment, but the Wanderer, they are in their defensive end, the Cavs. So they need to start getting some attacking momentum. And maybe when that happens, Pratish might call one the keeper off.
And if I'm the Wanderers, I'm quite happy to sit back and play on the counter-attack for this quarter. Just conserve a bit of energy, keep my lines closer together, knowing that the Cavs are going to be pushing, so there will be space in behind to counter-attack into.
Bit of a high and deadly, as some of us like to say, pass from Ollie Patterson. He's got to keep that ball on the ground with that hit. The Wanderers, can they make something from this penalty corner, it looks? And that was a good little bit of skill in that circle. In the past couple of games, we've seen the difference between, and the changes of 1 bracket, 2 bracket. Do you have a preference?
I think it depends on perhaps the skills you have in your team. If you've got a couple of penalty corner specialists, then 2 bracket makes it hard for the defence to know who to target when they're running out. But at the same time, you need someone dragging the ball out that can be accurate to both castles. So,
and that's a great run out from the Cavaliers. They've been able to block that. The Wanderers will keep with the ball. They'll keep trying to punch forward. But that's just gone straight over the baseline. I think it's Josh Child slipping that ball through now to Jaden Lal, who's gone infield with the pass, and back to Lal. And can they make something of this? Strong defence for the Wanderers. Cavs now, they're starting to get some momentum going forward. Would be nice just to add another player up there.
Yeah, they'll certainly get their opportunities. They've created 2 or 3 already this quarter. So they just need to keep persevering, keep working hard.
Here we go, cross. But the goalkeepers saved that pretty easily. And that just spills over the sideline. Another opportunity for the Cavaliers. Get things going. But maybe a little bit too quickly.
Yeah, we can see some of the basic skills just starting to drop away, and that'll be the tiredness, the day. 2 hard games. So I'm sure the coaches will be asking for some concentration from their boys out there.
A bit of that afternoon sun as well. The Wanderers are running into it. Not happy with the call there. But the ref is sticking to his guns. Cavaliers free hit. Ollie Patterson on ball. And they string some passes nice and early, get the momentum going. It's less than 10 minutes to go. They're really trying to get something, but the Cavaliers trying to work any bit of magic, any bit of skill into the circle. Wanderers on ball, and that's great skill from Tilo Saltnell-Jones.
Yeah, he's had a really good game. Look really composed and made some nice passes going forward.
Yeah, he's showing some really good skill as well. Nice control of the ball. Bryn Tussin on ball. Trying to do a little bit of a 1-2 and it comes away. Wanderers are being patient here, aren't they?
It's really good play from the Wanderers. Probably the longest period of ball possession in the whole game. They're doing a good job of keeping hold of it. And
they're listening to Jimmy.
Words of wisdom from the coach, quarter time.
But yeah, it is good to see a team just be able to hold on to that possession just for a bit longer than having these quick turnovers. And that's when we get the turnover. Could they have just held on to it a little bit longer?
Well, I think they did a good job, definitely on this left-hand side, and then got it out to the right where there was space to attack. So, unfortunately, just couldn't make the circle connection.
Saltner-Jones will mop that up pretty quickly. And again, they'll take possession. That was great. That's great. The Wanderers are able to come back and get that intercept. But not quite able to finish it.
Yes, the last pass, not quite connecting, but good work from the strikers, getting the intercept and making the counter-attack. And the Cavs who are pushing forward, leaving the space in behind.
There is some space happening out the left for the Cavaliers, but they're punching through that middle. Nice little crash ball, trying to find any kind of deflection. It doesn't come away. The Cavs, they need to do something different. Because at the moment, the Wanderers are just able to get the ball and work their way up.
The Wanderers are playing the percentages pretty well at the moment, just working it around the back and up the sideline into the non-dangerous areas of the field.
Yeah, so keeping them wide. The sidelines, that's non-dangerous for them?
Yeah, if they play the ball up the sidelines, if you turn the ball over there, then the opposition can't just come straight back through the middle. So smart thing to do when you're in the lead in the final quarter.
Yeah. The Wanderers just able to mop that up a little bit, and now they've turned it over and they'll start their attack up the field. The Cavs have managed to keep that in, but the Wanderers get it. Nice bit of skill there. In less than 5 minutes to go, it's looking like it's going to be the Wanderers' game. Daniel Easton. Malcolm Curley now on the ball. Nice bit of skill, puts it on the foot. They carry on up the field. And he's protecting the ball quite well with his body just then.
Yeah, it's a lovely little left to right drag you did. Keep the ball outside his right foot where it's nice and strong.
The Cavs try and whack it away, but Seltner-Jones traps that.
You do well to get snuff out that attack. The Wanderers have pushed quite far up the field and left a free player behind them.
And that's a free hit to the Cavaliers just outside their defensive circle. And they're going to be pretty upset with that, the Cavaliers. They were on an attacking roll. They've been called back. They really need a goal now, but it's the Wanderers who get the possession.
Yeah, really smart play from Ken Hendricks there. Good skill in retaining position.
Bodies being thrown out on the turf. Everyone's trying to get the ball back. But yeah, I'm really surprised not taking the goalkeeper off. We had seen it happen in one of the men's matches earlier.
Yeah, I thought that might have been an option as well for the Cavaliers to consider. You know, 3 goals down. You want to be pushing forward. There's nothing to lose, so why not take the keeper off and have an extra field player out there and see if you can really dominate the ball and create more chances.
The Wanderers are creating some nice space though up that left-hand flank. Put on the foot and they'll go again. Nice little jink. But just loses control and it's another turnover. The Cavs, can they make something happen in these last couple of minutes? They need to. And they're in the circle now. Could be go time for them. Was the idea's right?
I think the idea was right. Saw there's a player coming through on the back post, so tried to find him. I think the Wanderers have managed this fourth quarter pretty well. They've defended really well when they've needed to, and they've retained possession better than the Cavaliers. So their lead looks pretty comfortable.
And they've got a ball into the circle, the Wanderers do, and they're all chasing after it, but it'll be a free hit outside. Final minute on the clock. Wanderers in possession. They're already up 4-1. Could they make it more? Still on the ball. But the Cavaliers will have another go. Daniel Easton. Can he do anything? But that's it. The Wanderers have taken the win 4-1 and they definitely deserved that one.
They did, yeah. The Wanderers played well. I thought after the first quarter it might the Cavaliers were in with a chance, but the Wanderers grew into the game, and ultimately they took their chances better and controlled the game really well in that fourth quarter.
So the Wanderers, they get their first win, but it was the team before, the Storm, who took 2 wins today, and they will be the ones getting their name on the Forgesson-Archibald Shield. The first winners on that shield. And what's your sum up of the day, Ryan? Pretty awesome to get hockey out there.
Yeah, great way to start the hockey season. Good to see some young talent, both the men's and women's game on display. Good to trial a new concept. I think it's worked really well. So I'm sure all those involved have thoroughly enjoyed it, and hopefully it'll be back again next season.
Well, these guys will be pretty happy to get some drinks and have a shower after 2 really action-packed matches for each team today. And we'll be heading down to the turf just for some reaction after that match. But it's the Wanderers with the win, 4-1 against the Cavaliers.
Coming on, turning on.
Ollie, gosh, 2 games under your belt today. How was the body feeling?
Yeah, it's a bit worn now. I've got another game tomorrow, but that's not going to help. But yeah, very tired, and it's just good because you go out there and you give it your full gas and come off the pitch knackered. And yeah, it was really good, but the body's going to be hurting tonight.
A bit of a tough loss for you guys out there. Were there thoughts to get the goalie out on the field? Or off the field?
Out of the game? No, I don't think there were, maybe in the last 5, but I think we were doing really well shifting the ball and getting around them with the goalie on, so I think we just kept persevering with that and created chances but just couldn't take them in the end.
And you know, after a big day, what's the one thing you're looking forward to doing right now?
Oh, going home and sleeping. Might go upstairs for a cold one, but then home and sleeping, yeah.
Cool. Awesome, thank you for your time, Ollie. We'll now get the winning captain, Malcolm Curley. God, what a turn of events for you guys, Malcolm, yeah. After a first loss. Today, you guys finish up with a win. How does that feel?
Yeah, it was good to get a win for the boys, but you could definitely tell we were tired out there and it was a long day, so it was good to get a win.
Lots of exciting goals happening as well and goal-scoring opportunities. Yeah, how was it out there compared to that first game?
Yeah, I thought it was definitely real end-to-end that game. I think that was just due to everyone being a bit more tired and less running back and whatnot, but yeah, it was a bit of ping-pong out there, so yeah, it was good. And
what are you going to do to celebrate tonight?
Yeah, I'll probably have a couple with the boys, but yeah, just enjoy the rest of the night and yeah.
Awesome, go on, get up there, and I think they're going to have prize giving for you guys soon, so we'll head over to the prize giving, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be awarding the Forgesson-Archibald Shield to the winners of both the men's and women's matches.
At least we'll be out by 9:30, Joe, I promise. Yeah. So just a few thank yous to round off the day, which has been fantastic. Can you all join me first, please, in thanking today's umpires and match officials? Give them all a round of applause, please. Our coaches who have done a sterling job over a long period of time over the last 6 weeks. So Chris, Sandy, Vic, Tori, Jimmy, Clive, Aaron, Brett, Salish and Blaze and Ben, who couldn't be here today. Let's give them all a round of applause, please. We couldn't have done today without our event sponsor, who's Auckland Hockey Life member, and a man who we're going to nominate to be a Hockey New Zealand Life member in a couple of weeks. A great man from the Roskilde Eden Club called Grant Chester, and he sends his apology, but he's a pretty understated guy and he probably just didn't want to be here and out in front of you, so it's an apology, but he's sitting at home watching it, I'm sure. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause, please. Our main commentator today, Michelle Prendeville. We've now got her in blue and white out there somewhere. Where are you, Michelle? Come back here. She's sort of got it unzipped, so she still thinks she's Midlands, but I told her Midlands doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. Paul White, our conditioner, who did a sterling job in giving you a program and then making you guys monitor yourself and then retesting you. Let's give Paul a round of applause, please. And most important, we wouldn't have a Forgesson-Archibald Shield if 2 Auckland hockey icons didn't allow us to use their names. So Ryan, thank you very much for lending your name to the Shield, and it's going to go on this event now for many years, so when you're crusty and old and I'm gone, you can join over here. Good man. And Krystal Forgesson, who's in Christchurch. Let's give them a round of applause, please. You might have noticed Joe hobbling like a 90-year-old man today. The reason is he did a 33-kilometre coastal challenge this morning. He's got a few scars to show for it. He's got a date in about an hour's time with his girlfriend. Let's give him a massive, massive thank you, because this is his idea that he brought to me on a day after I'd watched on Sky Next the Auckland Rugby Under-21s event, and we were both sitting there. Lucky we aren't having a bromance, because it was sort of one of those moments where you connect, and we managed to put this idea into place. So Joe, on behalf of everyone, thank you very much. Biggest thank you though goes to you guys, the players. So for your commitment in making today a success, your preparation over summer, and all that work that you did between your summer concerts and the things that you do as young people. And for that, we're really grateful, because you, the players, have made today a success. So thank you very much. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. I'm now going to call on Joe and Sandy and Chris, our board member, to hand the shields to Ryan. And then we're going to get the captains of the winning teams to say a few words. So the Forgesson-Archibald Shield in its inaugural year 2021 for the men this year goes to the Auckland Storm. Shay Iswar, could you come up please? Just talk, but it'll catch you.
Yeah, just a massive thank you to Auckland Hockey for organising this event. It's something that hasn't been done before, and I think it's a really, really good idea. 2 games in one day in the sun is not easy, and full credit to the boys. They came through, and we got the dub. So yeah, just a massive thank you to everyone, especially the players, the other teams. I know all you boys, so thanks for making it a really good day. Cheers, guys.
And to the women, we couldn't separate you after 2 fine games. So same number of goals, same number of wins, 2 field goals each. We could be here all night. Joe thought about all the scenarios, but he didn't think about this one. So we're now going to we're going to award the shield to the winners for 2021. The shield is going to be shared by both the Storm and Wanderers. So Sophie, Libby, Tony, can we call you guys all up and say a few words, please? Come on, Pete. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Oh, is that a good idea?
Yep. Okay. Libby and then Pete maybe, or Tony.
Yeah, we just want to thank, from our team, just thank Auckland Hockey for putting this on. I know that we all had a lot of fun, even though I died. Especially thank you to all the players who put a lot of effort in and run their asses off. Thank you.
Yeah, just seconding Libby. Thanks Auckland Hockey. Thanks Joe. Such an awesome idea, and yeah, it was really good to get out there. Thanks to all the girls. It was pretty tough out there, pretty hot and limited numbers. So well done. Well done to everyone. Thanks.
So that wraps things up a couple of hours earlier than scheduled. So have a good night. If you're staying for a drink, that's all good. Just make sure you drive home safe. And we hope to see you all register your interest for the NHC teams. We'd love to take 2 teams to the tournament. We are in a rebuild, so there's lots of opportunity for players on the men's and women's side in Auckland Hockey. And we look forward to hosting you again next year. Thanks, everyone. Cool. We're done. Home time. Yeah. There we go. We're out.